Welcome into Gamesthetic, episode 163. I'm Alex Light with Sparky3. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal day today, whether if you're listening to this after the fact or watching it live, watch it live, whatever. We appreciate the hell out of you. Got both the boys here in studio with me. We have Zach Irwin over here. Zach, how you doing?
I still don't know why he's calling me this.
Yes, you do. Come on.
I don't know. I'm just here vibing, bro.
Shut the fuck up. How you doing today?
I'm good.
John, how you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
Just here?
I'm here.
Just here. Existing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're all kind of in that mode of where we're just all kind of existing because, like, I'll be honest, I don't know the direction of today's show. I really don't. Woo! It's going to be a show. I don't know the full direction of it. It's just going to be one of those days. We had the Nintendo Partner Direct go on this week. Unicorn Overlord demo came out after the Direct. I did play that too.
On everything or just Switch?
Everything. Yeah, it came. I'm pretty sure everything. I mean, I got it for Switch because that's what I'm planning to play it for, but I think it came out for everything. So I played that demo to its completion, so I'm looking forward to chat about that. John put some time into last Epoch that just came out this week. It just came out this week, right?
No, version 1 came out.
Version
1.0 came out. It's been in early access for a while now, but the official version 1 is out now.
Gotcha. And then really whatever else we want to talk about. I don't know. I really don't know the direction of today's show. And you know what? That's fine. Sometimes you just need a little chaos in your life of just the unpredictability of what's to come. And that is today's episode. It's going to be a great time. All right, boys. So overall, we're feeling good. Good day today. We're here. We're alive. We're kicking. Having a great time. Anything new in our lives, you know? Zach, how are you? How's your life?
I miss 1 versus 100.
Man, you preaching to the damn choir, brother. You preaching to the damn choir, man.
Oh, no, there was actually one thing I did. Because as of the 22nd of February, there's now a free trial of Final Fantasy 14 on Xbox.
Oh, nice.
So
okay.
they're more. They say free trial. It's open beta, but it's more or less the free trial setup that is currently in Final Fantasy 14. So you can play up to I forget what level you can get up to now with free trial. I think it's 30 now. I know.
No, I think.
Is it still 20?
I think it goes further than that.
Oh, does it go further than that now?
I think so, because the Final Fantasy the free trial of it has always been like way better than you would expect a free trial to be.
It's been a long time since I've really dug into 14, so because maybe I'm thinking of WoW's free trial, but yeah, no, the Final Fantasy 14 free trial is a lot better. But that is now currently open on Xbox.
Nice.
In preparation for the full Final Fantasy 14 to be on Xbox.
Yeah. Final Fantasy's free trial lets you play up to level 70.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, that's currently up from February 20. It started February 22nd. It's up for a month, so till March 22nd.
Okay. You know, another free trial that was absolutely fantastic back in the day was Phantasy Star Online on like 360 and stuff. That was a great free trial. Dumped a lot of time into that free trial. Loved Phantasy Star Online, man. That was a great time. Never played the full game. Just the trial. I had a great time with it, man.
I mean, I played the full story game because I had that.
Yeah.
I just never paid for a subscription for the online.
Yeah. No, enjoyed that. Also enjoying Phantasy Star Online episode 1 and 2. Love those on the GameCube. Shout out to that. Very, very, very fun game there. All right, let's jump into things, boys. Let's start blitzing through the show, having a great time, or the best time that we can is a better way to put it. So yeah, Nintendo Partner Direct took place this week. It was very okay. That is the nicest way I can put it. It had games. It didn't have bad games. It was just like it's one of those things where it's like, all right, yes, we are truly, truly, truly at the tail end of the Switch.
It's one of those times where I clearly had a better time than you during this because you probably watched it while I read an article.
You are correct. Well, for the record, I actually only watched it this morning. I did not watch it when I came out because I was traveling through the mountains and I had no service, and then the outage happened. So I did not watch it until this morning.
I will say most of the time, like there's a Nintendo Direct or something, unless it's specifically targeted at something I'm looking forward to, I tend to not watch it because most of the time they're not worth it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it is one of those where I'll check it out, and if there's something particularly exciting, I'll go actually watch that part of it.
Yeah, so
Didn't necessarily feel the need this time.
yeah, I pulled a John today, and I went through the article first, and I'm just like, I mean, I'm sitting here drinking, my energy drink, eating my breakfast. It's like, I'll go ahead and turn it on the other monitor while I type stuff up, and just in case there's something I missed. No, like I said, it's a partner direct. I mean, I'm not gonna diss a partner direct because we've had some bangers before.
Oh yeah.
This one was just okay. Yeah, it was all right. I mean, there is some nice announcements.
It's one
out
of those
it,
where it's like it's a Nintendo Direct, especially at this time of the year. It's like you could flip a coin, and it's like it's either gonna be really good or bad, or it's either gonna be really good or it's just happened.
Yeah, this is one of the ones where it just happened.
Yeah,
even though there were a few things out of it that was pretty sweet, but for the most part, it's like okay, that was a thing. It took place. So going through like what I picked out as I guess the notables is we have like Ground and Pentiment. They are coming to Switch, which we kind of already speculated that from like last week. Unicorn Overlord demo did drop. I'll chat about that briefly. Then we had Monster Hunter Stories remake, and this can be fully voiced remakes. Shout out to that, as well as a remake of Disney's Epic Mickey called Rebrushed. Apparently, it is a faithful remake. They're really taking care to this one. So shout out to that. Never played the Epic Mickey games, but they always looked cool. But I never played them. And then Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. This, like I was texting you about it. This looks like a pretty beefy kind of upgrade. I mean, you have an entire it's double the length of the original game. Like they completely added a whole new route, a whole bunch of new shit. So.
Yeah, more or less. After you told me all, I told you it seems more like an FES or a P2 kind of situation.
Yeah, I mean, like you're literally getting an entirely different game within the game.
Sounds like a P2 situation then.
Yeah, so I mean, this is a pretty beefy upgrade, and I was actually, I was talking to Zach recently. I was like, I kind of want to try, Shin Megami Tensei, at some point, and I was like, okay, well, I'm glad I waited on 5. I'll check this one out. So,
as I told you then, 3 through 5 you can get your hands on pretty decently.
Yeah, especially since 3 had a remake, didn't it? Or a remaster. Or
it had a remaster on PC, so it's pretty available. 4 is a bit tougher. 1 and 2, good luck.
I'm probably not going back to 1 and 2, just like I'm not going back to Persona 1 and 2. So it's all good. It's all good. Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection. This will have online multiplayer.
I saw that.
I was pretty excited about this one. I'm not gonna lie.
This is what they could have done way back when they started Battlefront over again. They could have just re-released these.
Yeah, I know. Instead, we got the okay. So the first Battlefront was okay, but the second one was obviously a dumpster fire in terms of the recent ones. The recent ones. First one was okay. Second one, ooh, buddy, that was a dumpster fire.
It started that way.
It started that way. He's trying to defend it a little bit.
No, because it's at the end of the day when you go back and play it. Like if you were to log in and play it now, it's fun to play, but it's not. It's also not something I'm gonna sit down and play for an extended period of time.
Yeah,
because it is also one of those games where there's a whole bunch of people in the game.
True,
and I can only get shot from a direction I didn't see so many times before I get frustrated.
Yep. But the Classic Collection coming back is pretty sweet, especially with the online multiplayer. I think up to like 64 players. So that's pretty cool. I absolutely loved these games as a kid on the PS2. So this is awesome. I'm here for this. I want to buy this. This is great. Also had Gundam Breaker 4. So shout out to that one. Hopefully a great Gundam game here. Got an official release date for Fantasy Life I that's coming out in October, and then the direct ended with a new Endless Ocean game. Or I believe this was like a remake or just a new game in general. I don't know. I know Endless Ocean was a Wii game, but again, I don't know if this is like a remake or just a new entry or whatever. And then I've got the rest here on the script. Does anything stand out to you guys from anything? Like anything at all stand out to you? Because for the most part, like I said, it was a direct. One very, very random thing. I don't give a shit about it, but when I saw it, I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting. If I remember correctly, I think this is a Game Freak game. Pocket Card Jockey Ride On. I think that's a Game Freak game on the iPhone, so I guess it's coming to Switch. So that's something I don't give a shit about it, but I thought it was interesting that it's brought over to Switch. Okay. But
I don't know if you have it here, but I believe it happened in this direct. I assume it's coming to the Nintendo Switch Online or whatever. Mm-hmm. What was it? The original Killer Instinct?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was honestly, that's the thing that caught my eye more than anything when I was looking through it.
Yeah.
It's like that in the Battlefield collection.
Right.
Or yeah,
Battlefront.
Battlefront.
Yeah,
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 I said
yeah.
it. I was like, wait a second, that's not right. But yeah, those two things were what caught my eye the most. Because one, very rarely do you hear Killer Instinct anymore. The fact that it's
Yeah.
showing up at all is pretty cool.
Yeah. I saw like Blast Corps as well as coming to NSO Online. I also saw for Japan, they're getting Mother 3. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, the meme continues. And like the original, like one of the original, I don't know if he was like the director of the game, whatever, or the creator of Earthbound. I have no idea. But I saw him like, put out a tweet where he's just like, don't talk to me about localization for it, okay? Go talk to Nintendo. Stop pointing your guns at me. I thought that was pretty funny. Mother 3 is just the forever ongoing meme with Nintendo that it will never, ever come out over here.
Nope.
But I mean, it was overall an okay partner direct. I mean, like there were some announcements that were like, all right, yeah, that's cool. But for the most part, it's just like, all right, what? I don't give a shit about a majority of these. But
I mean, the only thing that I see that's likely is just Suika Game getting a multiplayer thing, just because tons of VTubers fucking played that constantly for like a month and a half.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I did see that because I never downloaded or played that
Neither did
game,
I.
but it's just one where that popped up so much in YouTube Shorts during that time.
It was very enjoyable watching a bunch of VTubers lose their shit trying to get double Suika.
then we also had the Demon Slayer party game, Sweep the Board.
They're looking good.
No, it didn't. It was one of those things
It
where,
showed up in a Nintendo Direct sec.
yeah, first off,
No.
that tells you anything. But also, like, it didn't even give it a chance to, like, show the game. It was in one of those montages.
Oof.
Yeah, it got shoved down to a montage. And I'm just like, this did not look promising for the game. I'm sure someone will find enjoyment out of it, but that someone is not going to be me. But I mean, like I said, it was okay. Looking forward to Unicorn Overlord, Vengeance. I never played never played 5, so that's gonna be something I'm gonna keep my eye on. Then Star Wars Battlefront. Those are the big ones for me personally. What the hell is Gundam Breaker though? What is that series? Like I saw the post about all over Twitter. It's just like, is it literally you just build a unique Gundam and you just go fight? Is that all it is? Like
Quite possibly.
that's okay. That's probably all it is. But I don't know. Because I saw Bandai putting up like, oh, the big fancy collector's edition and stuff, and I'm just like, okay, but what is the game?
Yeah. See, the thing is, you're asking the two people who are probably the least likely to know.
That's not true. If anyone would know, it'd be Zach. Okay, Zach knows a lot of information. Okay, if there's anyone that would know, I figured it'd be Zach. But yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know Gundam Breaker was ever a series. I saw some people freaking out, oh my god, Gundam Breaker gets a new game. I was like, what is Gundam Breaker though? I don't know what this is. But I mean, overall, it's like, mid direct.
You know what wasn't mid this week though?
What's that?
Game Pass.
What all came to Game Pass again?
Tales of Arise and Dead Island 2.
That's right. Dead Island 2 dropped and Tales of Arise dropped. That's right. Some good additions. Dead Island 2, bought the game, never played it.
Well, now you don't even have to pay for it.
Bought the game, refunded it.
That's right, you did. I forgot.
Might play it on Game Pass though.
I played on Game Pass, he says. Okay.
I mean, Dead Island 2 was apparently good, so
Except for John.
It may get better. It was a rough opening for me.
I understand.
It's one of those where, but yeah, I will say, Tales of Arise coming to Game Pass. That's a fucking win.
Yeah.
That's a big W. Have you gotten to that expansion yet?
No.
Okay, I figured.
No, I've started another. I've got a second Tales of Arise game that I was playing. Just other stuff has come up and distracted me.
That's totally fair, totally understandable. I still haven't got to in terms of like other expansion stuff. Like I still haven't got to Phantom Liberty, for example. Other things have distracted me. I'm busy.
You said Phantom Liberty. I now know what you meant, but I immediately went Metal Gear.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I didn't go there. I didn't know where to go at first when he said it. I was like, I know we talked a lot when we were both playing this at the same time.
Yeah.
But it took me a minute to get there.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. No, I haven't got back to that either. I've
Yeah,
got
I know.
my save file ready to go for when I go back to it.
Yeah. I mean, I picked up the Ultimate Edition, physical copy and everything, and I haven't. I barely got back into it. Is what it is. I'll get back to it. I'll finish that playthrough. I love that game, but I'm just busy with other stuff right now. And we'll be busy in a couple weeks with Unicorn Overlord because like this is a game that I was already excited for. It looked good. Played the demo and it just sold me on it. Yeah, it completely sold me on it. Like I love the demo. I will say in terms of like story, we'll see if it like hard evolves. It's pretty straightforward standard story. It's nothing like as of now. The 2 hours of the demo you can play. It's nothing that really blows you away. It's just standard thing of one evil trader takes over kingdom, then takes over entire continent. The queen is dead. The prince was taken away. Time skip. The prince is now the sole survivor, now trying to retake the kingdom. Yeah, it's nothing new. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel with the story or whatever. Like I said, the story could very well evolve. I mean, there's different elements to it of where the story can evolve, but it's just more so the gameplay and just the approach for the game. Number one, it feels like the biggest, most massive love letter. If you're like a Fire Emblem fan, like it's got the most aggressive Fire Emblem vibes, which is a good thing. I'm talking like some older Fire Emblems. It's very visually stunning, which is no surprise because Vanillaware is incredible on the art style.
So you're telling me you're going to play it with Iron Man mode?
We'll see. I don't know. I'm a baby when it comes to games now. I just want to play the game and have a great time. So, look, man, I don't have a lot of time to play games, right? Okay, I just want to play my game and have a great time. So I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, art style, it's absolutely visually stunning, which is again no surprise. Vanillaware, does really well with that. They did well with that on 13 Sentinels. And then their other game, what was it? Dragon's Crown, I think.
Yes.
Thank you. Both of those the art style is beautiful. The one thing that I really enjoyed about this, and as someone who enjoys tactics games and tactical RPGs and stuff like that, but it's like I have not completely dove into it where I've played every single, like all the big ones and stuff. One thing I saw a lot of people talking about on Twitter they loved is like the game is also like open world. Like, and I saw some people say it's like, man, I haven't seen that in a game since like Shining Force, like way back in the day and shit.
Oh, goddamn.
Yeah, where it's like, you have like your overworld map and it is open world and you walk around. It's not just like like a map in like a Fire Emblem game where you just go point to point and just select your mission. Like you actually walk and go, you can encounter your enemies in the wild and have a quick little battle, just hit plus and it's just like, all right, the battle just happens. For the actual gameplay going through the actual tactics aspect of it, of where it's all real time. You're just constantly moving. There is no turn-based stuff like with like a Fire Emblem or 13 Sentinels or Digimon Survive or anything like that. It's like as soon as you jump into the stage, it just goes. You have enemies that are going to do their thing. You start sending your units to do their thing. As the battle happens, you can jump into the battle and watch it play out. You don't sit there and choose your moves or whatever. You choose your moves beforehand, and set like, okay, for this character, I want him to start with this. And then after he does that move, I want him to do this. Then I want him to do this and then this. You just watch the battle play out, or you can just choose to skip it and move about your day. You have the different groups that you can set up, which looks like it can go to like a max of 6 to 8, based on I don't know what the max is going to be. I have no clue.
Okay.
But it's like you have your group of like, let's just say 6 people. You have like terrain 1, terrain 2, where it's like a step above. So you put like your heavy unit in the front, archer in the back, for example, or you can put a thief in the front because they'll, the front person will obviously attack first and they'll dodge most of the attacks, setting up for your unit in the back to just tear them up. Like it's just, there's a lot of different elements to it that's really cool to me and new to me as someone that hasn't like played every single tactical RPG or tactics game in existence. So it's very appealing to me. It's all flash and new. Like, oh, this is cool. But I enjoyed the shit out of the demo. The couple hours I played just from a gameplay perspective. Like I said, story. I mean, it's standard. It's nothing as of now that's like, oh my god, that's so cool. I want to know what happens next. It's like, all right, yeah, this is fun. I'm enjoying this. It's a good time.
Probably not a game that I'm going to pick up and play more than likely, but I'm half tempted to download this demo now because I have no context for what you're talking about. I cannot visualize this at all.
I mean, fair.
You had the opposite reaction. He's talking about this. I immediately had a brain image to go, oh yeah, I had that game back series. I need to check what other games I need in it. So I have a new set of games I need to collect.
Which ones are those?
Spectral Force.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So it's like I may download this demo when I get home just to understand what the hell you're talking about.
That's fair.
Because it's like I have what I think is a mental image of it, and it may be very far off.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I thoroughly enjoyed it for the couple hours that you can play for the demo. It's got like over 100 characters that you can recruit. You choose how the story goes. I mean, right out of the gate, you have a couple choices where you can either choose to free this one guy or send him to like the town's jail, where you can set it up as just like, oh, we're not the ones to decide your fate. The town needs to decide your fate. You go to another village where you can choose to execute this dude or keep him alive and he'll end up joining you. Lots of interactions. It's the similar interactions like any like sort of paralog stuff that you get for like a Fire Emblem game. As characters, go in combat together in their respective units, they'll gain points to be able to see those, dialogue portions, whatever. So I mean, it's very heavy Fire Emblem vibes, but like if you've played 13 Sentinels, it's got a lot of vibes there. Except not much of a muted color tone, because that was one thing I immediately noticed about 13 Sentinels. It's very muted on its color tone. This one's more bright and vibrant. But I mean, overall, I really enjoyed it. I'm so pumped for the game in a couple weeks. I pre-ordered it today, so I'm looking forward to checking that one out. But yeah, John, download demo, check it out.
I need to go do a second run of Triangle Strategy.
I still need to finish my first. I'm almost done with it. That's a game that I just keep coming back to, play a little bit, get further, and then put it back down for a while. I don't know why it's taken this long for me. Another phenomenal like art style game right there.
I just know I have most of the units I cared for, so it's just clean up for me.
Yeah.
Going back and trying to collect everybody.
Yep.
Because I got my bandit archer girl. That was my one goal for that one playthrough.
Mm-hmm. Triangle Strategy is a great game. It's a shame that I have not finished it, but that's a damn good game. Like I still pick it up to this day, and I'll play a little bit here, a little bit there. I think I recently played it probably I want to say about a month ago.
Because it came out 21?
Yeah, 21. So it's been a while. It's so funny how that turned out too, because John and I were the ones super excited for it.
I was the first one to be super excited about that game.
And then he and I both dropped it.
And I gave no fucks, and I did a whole playthrough.
Yeah. It's funny how that worked out.
It's like I was excited for it. Didn't end up playing it hardly at all.
Yeah. Great game, though. Fantastic game. Just like I think Unicorn Overlord's going to be. So
don't drop it.
I hope not. I mean, the only thing I'd drop it for is Rise of the Ronin, because that comes out 2 weeks after it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to end up dropping Unicorn Overlord at least for a weekend to get some Rise of the Ronin in before the show. But it's not going to be one I'm going to finish quickly, especially since it comes out and literally the next day I'm going out of town.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that one's going to be a little bit for me to complete, but it is what it is. Either way, I'm really pumped for it. I was kind of tempted after playing the demo, because before the demo I was like, it looks cool, but it's like, what if I don't end up liking the game? I was kind of tempted to pick up the collector's edition.
Wait, there's a collector's edition?
Yeah, it's actually pretty sick because it comes with a card game.
Well, it's Atlas, so yeah, I'm not gonna look at this now.
Yeah, it's $130, so it's actually not that bad for a collector's edition in my opinion. It comes with a card game that you can play. It's like 250 cards or something like that you and someone can play. It looks pretty cool. I almost considered picking it up, but I decided just to save some money and just pick up the standard.
The fuck's money?
Zach, don't.
Shut your mouth over there.
Yeah, you just be quiet. Don't go there. Do not go there.
So it has a DLC voucher and base game. So it comes with a physical game.
Yep, which is always a plus.
A card game that has 239 cards.
Okay.
Outer box, an art book, and a soundtrack.
Yep. Looks like a pretty solid collection edition. I do want it, but I just got the standard. It's all right. Zach, what are you doing? Zach, what are you doing? What are you doing over there, buddy?
Don't worry about me. Continue the show.
I hate you so much. Oh, all right. So the other title topic that I had slated was Pokemon Presents is set for next week, of course, for Pokemon Day. Just going to maybe shout some predictions. But before we get there, John, you want to chat about what you've been up to? Picked up a game this week?
Yeah,
Having a good time? Having a bad time?
So yeah, I picked up Last Epoch. This is a game I've been wanting to pick up for a while, and just haven't, because it was like other things popped up. It's one of those games where I knew it was gonna be good from like recommendations and like people that I've like people I watch on like Twitch or YouTube or stuff had played it. I'd seen what some of it was. I knew I was going to enjoy it. So it was just I wasn't in a hurry to pick it up. And then I realized that the 1.0 launch happened this past week. So I was like, well, now I got to buy it. And it's Left Epoch. It's the isometric top-down ARPG game. It's got a similar style. I mean, for the casual players, Diablo 4. For the more veteran players, Path of Exile, and like Path of Exile, Grim Dawn, these types of games. It's really good. The only problem is currently I don't know if it's due to influx of players or if they just weren't prepared for it, or like prepared for the number of players or anything, or just in general. But it does, like, when you go to log into the game, it has a since I bought it, it has a banner warning at the top of it saying we're trying to figure out, or we're trying to fix online services, because there are plenty of problems with the online. Good news is they have a separate offline mode that you can play in.
Hey.
So you can play it in online mode, or you can play it in offline mode. The only annoying thing is the characters exist in those realms separately.
Oof.
So if you play an offline character, you cannot play that character online. At least from what I've seen so far, because I have offline characters and online characters right now. Because I started playing online, I was running into a lot of loading problems and zone transitions were either taking a long time or they just weren't happening. So I said screw it, and I made an offline character. Play it. Funny thing though, if you make an offline character, you still have an active global chat in offline, but it's like you have the chat there. You can turn it off as well, but you still have a chat, but you're not playing, like, the actual realm that you're in is not an online realm.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
But does it populate, or it's just there?
No, the chat is there. Like, people will be talking, and it's a separate chat than the online chat. Because the first time I made a character, someone goes, "Does anybody know how the online's working right now?" And someone replies like, "I mean, I'm just gonna keep playing offline." Because it's like it's one of those games where it's like I don't know how, like, the end game and everything works yet.
Yeah.
Haven't quite made it there. But unless you just wanted to play with people, this is another one of those games where it's like most of what you're gonna do is by yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, unless you just want to play with people, which if you wanted to do that, you have to be online.
Yeah.
Like, if you had some friends who were playing and y'all wanted to group up and play, I guess you can do that, but you would have to all have online characters for that. If you have an offline character, you can still enjoy the game, play it just how you normally would. This one is kind of interesting because it's not like a linear story, how like Diablo, like Path is, where it's like you kind of just play through and go, and you go to the objectives, which you do that in this game. But the gimmick in this game is the story takes place, like, instead of having like how Path of Exile is, where you have 10 acts that you play through, or like Diablo 4, where you have your different zone levels and everything. This game, you go through time and play through some of the same zones at different points in time.
Oh, that's actually pretty sick.
So it's like it's like some of the characters, as you're playing through the story, they'll take you, it's like they'll open a rift and you go through time, and then you end up in the same location at a different point in time, and then travel along, and then there'll be another rift that you come back through.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where visually it's cool to see, and it's cool to see some of the same environments, just like in a destroyed point in time, and then you go back, and it's like you go forward in time, and it's like an Imperial. It's one of those where it's kind of like it's another way to use the same areas in games, but also
make it different.
Yeah,
make it feel fresh.
It's like you hide the fact that you're reusing the same areas, just by being able to. Because I think one of the points in time is just called like the ruined era,
Mm-hmm.
where every zone you go through is kind of in a more disheveled, destroyed state.
That's pretty sick.
Uh,
I actually like that whole concept quite a bit.
So
Just to
it's
reuse the areas like that.
so it's a cool way to redo it or like reuse the areas, which is nice. And the complexity of the game, because it's always one of the sticking points for these like action action role playing games like this. It's somewhere in between Diablo 4 and Path of Exile, where there's not near as many systems as Path of Exile, but it also has more customization and player choice than Diablo 4 has. Because it's like when you create a character, there's I think it's 5. It might be 6. Like basic classes to pick.
Mm-hmm.
And then so it's like as you level up with that character, you have a tree that kind of populates that you put your points into. When you when you hit a certain level, and then in the story you there's a very obvious story beat where you get sent to a place to unlock it. Then you unlock your mastery class, which each class gets to pick from 3 mastery classes. And when you select it, you get you get a skill for that class.
Okay.
So for the first character I made, the base class was Primalist, and then I picked Shaman, so I got a Shock Totem.
Okay.
As soon as you pick it as your mastery class, you unlock that skill, and then as you level up from there, you unlock this. You can unlock the skills from that class, and it's kind of the way that works is just like the skill tree. You can still put points into your basic class tree,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have a second tree that's for that class.
Okay.
And you can keep putting it. And so as you put points into like your mastery class, you will unlock the the additional abilities for that class.
Okay.
But even if you can only have one mastery class, but you can still put points into the other classes up to a certain point. You can't get all
Okay,
of the skills
gotcha.
in them. You can get like 2 of the skills from them by putting points into the class.
Mm-hmm.
But you won't be able to get their signature skill unless you master it. So it's like it's nice that you still get some of the options from different classes from doing that. But the actual customization part of the game is you can have 5. I think it's 5 skills on your action bar at any given time, and you can swap them on the fly too.
Okay.
But as you level up until level 50, I think at level 50 you get your final slot for it, but you can specialize skills. So like the Primalist, one of their skills is like summon a wolf, and
Okay.
you have a wolf companion. You can specialize in that skill where then you customize how it works or like how the skill is, and it's a separate skill tree on its own.
Oh, damn.
So like it can be something as simple as like the wolves do additional damage based off of some number or something like
Yeah.
that, or increasing the number that you can have or something like that, or just strictly converting the type of damage that they do. Because it's like I'm playing a rogue now and I'm playing a marksman, so it's like one of the classes, or it's like some of it is like it'll start out as a physical skill, and you can change it to where the skill costs like no mana, and then from there you gain mana from attacking stuff, and then you can convert it to cold damage, and then you can convert that to something else, and then like completely change how the skills work. So like on my rogue playing a marksman, but I put some points into a different class to get like a mine ability. Well, I've spec'd into that to where now instead of throwing a mine, I've converted it to a bow skill. So when I use it, I fire like bomb arrows into the sky that land down and then essentially create more traps on the ground, and also have it have it converted to 3 different elements. Then a different a different ability where by using, or when I use it, it also uses one of each element that it has. So I fire once and I put down like 6 traps of all different elements.
Okay.
So it's like that's the level of customization you can get on some of these skills where it's like instead of throwing 1 trap out, I now fire it from my bow and I put down like 6.
So it allows for quite a diverse set of builds for
Yeah.
each mastery class.
Yeah, it's depending on what skills you take and then kind of like which side of the skill tree or kind of how you navigate around it, you can use a skill in a completely different way. Because yeah, there's a lot of like damage conversion, changing how it works entirely, taking it from like a spammable skill to turning it into like a channeled skill
Yeah.
that does different damage types or works completely differently. So it's like there's a lot of freedom in how the skills are used. Because from what I've seen, it's one of those where it's like I create a character and then as soon as I unlock the first specialization slot, I'm like, okay, now I'm going to sit here for 15 minutes and read through all of my available skills that I have for now and see which one I want to specialize in. Because you get 5 specialization slots
Okay.
total, which then you can unspecialize in the skill, but you lose all the points associated with it.
Oof.
But they come back pretty quick. That caps out at 20 as far as experience you get towards that.
Mm-hmm.
But then on gear and stuff, you can get plus level 2 those skills. And by leveling it up, that's how many points you get to actually put in like the specialized skill tree.
Okay.
Bit of a long-winded explanation on that, but that's just the level of detail or like the level of customization that you can have for like one skill, and you get that for 5. And each character, by the time it's said and done, you could probably have 15, 20, like 15 or 18 different skills on your character.
Yeah.
That you kind of narrow down to 5 that you specialize in,
Mm-hmm.
and then have to spend the time to read through the tree. So it's a lot of fun. It's
Extremely detailed,
it's extremely detailed,
which
but
is a good thing.
also it reads very clearly what it does.
Yeah, it's not overly complicated. It's very detailed, but not overly complicated.
Yeah, it's like you open it up and you see it's not like Path of Exile where you open it up and it's the famous skill tree. It's you open it up and it's like, okay, this skill tree is not too bad, and then you hit it, but it's like that's your skill tree for your character, and then you go to your skill tree for your skills, and then you go to your specialized skill tree. So it breaks up the complexity into smaller bite-sized pieces that you go through, which is it makes it more manageable, and it makes it more fun to, or like where you'll look at it and go, okay, I might actually spend the time to read through this instead of just trying to go find a build that someone else has. Which has been fun. It's like my first character that I made. It's a shaman. I don't fucking know if the character's good. I'm playing it. It's working.
Right.
It's like it's working. I haven't come up to anything where I'm like, nah, this is trash. It doesn't work anymore. Which a lot of times in games, by the time you get to like a lot of times in these games, you may get to level 30 or 40 on some of these games that you've never touched before and hit a point where you go, yeah, my character doesn't work anymore. So far, I haven't had that. I've swapping between abilities, specializing in different stuff, just kind of tested it out. Because, like I said, you kind of look through the skill tree and you can kind of start piecing together the points where you're like, okay, well, if I go over here and I take this and then I have this over here, it's like, yeah, I may not get to that point until I have 15 points in that skill. But once you do, you can build around that one interaction that's happening from there.
Yeah.
Which is what makes it fun. Also, like at least in offline mode, everything's smooth. Haven't had no problems when I'm playing in offline mode. Online was fun. It comes and goes. Like I had like I said, I got stuck on loading screens. I couldn't transition between zones sometimes. My game crashed once. So it's like online's a bit rough right now. It doesn't seem like it for everybody necessarily, but
Yeah.
it's one of those where I also don't mind playing in offline mode because, I mean, I don't feel the need to play in online mode. I've never really played these type of games for playing them with other people necessarily. It's like usually I only play, or usually in other games like Path of Exile, I would only care if I was in trade league so that I could trade.
Gotcha.
But it's like with an offline mode, I'll probably just make all my characters in offline mode unless somebody, like one of my buddies, hits me up and goes, "Hey, do you have an online character?" I go, "No, but I can get one pretty quick." Because that's the other thing too. Because like I said, the when you open up the map, it shows you the different time periods that you can travel to or that you have traveled to, and you have quest icons for what your main quest or your side quests are. Then they tell you kind of where to go. The game also has like even on the map, it'll have like part of the map is kind of laid out like a tree, and it would say like a red area off to the side. It says alternate leveling path. So you don't have to necessarily go through the main story if you don't want to. There are other paths that you can go down for leveling that looks like it just kind of throws you. It might throw you into a dungeon where you travel through it and just level up through there until you get to the next point that you can travel to. So it's the fact that they do have alternate leveling methods. I don't know how effective they are. I haven't tried them because as my first time playing through it, I'm just playing through it as the game tells me to.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much. If you haven't tried it and you're a fan of these ARPGs, it's a great game.
How much is it?
$35.
That's what I thought. I knew it was on a cheaper price point. So
Yeah, it's like $35. It's been in early access for a while. It's one of these games that's been sitting there where most people that are within some of these communities, like the Path of Exile community or something like that, they've heard about it. It's just if you've wanted to try it or if you just didn't want to spend the money for it. I mean, that is the thing. It's like most of these games are like free to play or on the cheaper side. $35 feels a bit pricey for one of these these type of games, but there's a lot of content in it.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. From
From a content perspective and how much time you can invest, it's well worth it.
that's what it sounds like.
It's just
Because, like, honestly, talking about for the past however long you've been talking about it, like 20 minutes, whatever, it feels like you only scratched the surface of
yeah.
it. So it's like $35 for it. Doesn't really feel like that bad of a price.
yeah. I honestly I was trying to keep myself from just going down
Gushing.
a rabbit
Yeah,
hole.
I know.
And then I'm like, you kind of have to get some of the extent out. But even then, I've held back quite a bit on it.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole crafting system that I haven't figured out yet.
Okay.
It's
So
like-
a whole nother side that I haven't even dove into.
I've started looking at it, but
Right.
it looks like not necessarily a simple crafting system, but simpler than what I tend to see in some of these games, where you kind of get more options. But I haven't figured it all out yet, and I have a feeling that I'm going to have to as I keep playing the game.
Right.
Like I've just barely scratched the surface with the crafting system.
Yeah. Couple shout outs before we move on. Shout out to Polar Knights over on Twitch stopping by saying, "I love this show. It is the perfect evolution of beard growth." I don't know what he's referring to. I don't know if he's referring to past times of viewing the show or just like how the three of us look, where it's just like, scruff, more scruff, more scruff. I don't know what he's referring to, but hey, shout out to you. I appreciate stopping by and hanging out. And then also, before we jump over to our next topic, a special shout out to, of course, one of our partners, one of our sponsors, Agent Inc. You can pick up a jersey with the referral link down below. We got the best jerseys on the entire website, and I highly recommend buying one because they're sick. We also have a hat with a trash can on it, and that's great. For these shout outs that I do, I had a thought the other day. I really need to have a video to jump to, you know what I mean? Or just a slide to jump to. I need to work on that. I thought about that whenever I was driving through the mountains the other day. I think that'd be a good investment of my time. What? I was driving through the mountains.
Because that's what you need to do while driving the mountains is have your mind wander so you can drive off a damn cliff.
Correct. Hey, you got to keep yourself entertained somehow. It was beautiful, boring as shit, but beautiful. So that was a time.
Last time I went through the mountains, it was foggy as all get out, so I couldn't see shit anyways.
Yeah. All right, let's hop over to the next thing, which is Pokemon Presents. Yahoo! Set for I think it was Tuesday.
Stop. Did you watch it?
No, it
it hasn't
come
happened
out.
yet.
Hasn't come out. Hasn't happened yet. So that'll be next Saturday.
Are you gonna watch it?
I'll probably watch it.
I will.
You already know I'm watching it.
I'll watch it. It's a matter of if I watch it when it happens.
Gotcha.
And that's also the thing, because as much as I would love to watch when it happens, I think I'm going to actually be really busy with something with work, so I probably won't even be able to
I don't watch
it.
most.
But I will watch it.
It's like I don't watch a lot of Nintendo Directs, but I watch all Pokemon Presents.
I know
Yes.
you usually did.
Yeah. So I don't know. Going into this Pokemon Presents, it's really interesting because it's like, we had the second part of like Scarlet Violet DLC, and now it's just like, I don't think it's time for like a Gen 10. I don't think we're there yet. I think that's something's going to be next console sort of thing. So it's like, what is this Presents gonna have on him? It's gonna have all the standard shit. You'll have like some Go update.
I was gonna
probably
say,
a Unite update,
it's gonna
stuff like that.
Go Unite.
Cafe remix, whatever other games they
It's
have.
like it's gonna have that, and then I don't think we're gonna get any announcement. We're gonna get a tease at an announcement in a couple months. For
that would suck.
well, we'll get a tease.
It's like 25 minutes though.
Yeah, but it's like they'll go over. It's like we won't get anything new, but they'll go over like Scarlet and Violet. They'll go over what is it? They'll go over Unite. They'll go over Go. It's like they may comment something about like VGC.
Yeah.
And then
probably a new training card set, or probably like some new show or something.
Or just
like
announcing potentially where like some like regionals or worlds might end up being at. But it's like we'll get something like that.
Probably a random ass spin-off game.
No, I don't even think we'll get an announcement for that. I think
really
it's like because the other thing is we're gonna get an announcement, or they're gonna spend time on. I forgot about this. Was it the new series?
Oh, the one on Netflix?
Yeah.
I forgot what it's
Horizons or something?
Oh, that one. Yeah.
No, it's like...
I thought you meant the claymation one.
No.
What?
No.
Yeah, there's a claymation show they launched on Netflix.
No, we're going to get something on Horizons because it's about to happen.
Yeah.
And then I don't foresee any like new spin-off game or anything happening because I think they're going to release it. Like I said before, I think they're going to release it towards the end of the year. So I think we'll get a tease at or maybe not even a tease at an announcement soon. They'll just have something in there that makes people think something's going to happen in a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be like some subtext or just something in the background or something shown off that people catch their eye to will tell us, hey, something's going to happen in a couple months.
Mm-hmm. See, I personally think we're about to hit that that remake cycle of some capacity, or that spin-off cycle. I think there's going to be something there. That.
Well,
I just don't know what it is.
That's what I've said.
I think it'll be revealed here. Is what I think will happen.
I don't think it's going to be revealed here.
I think it'll be revealed here because
you got to keep it in mind.
It's like it's a 25-minute presents. It's like you can't take up 25 minutes on that bullshit.
Yeah. Well, it's like I'm only holding out that it's not happening here because I've predicted it's releasing at the end of the year.
That's fair.
They can't announce it now.
They can. They totally could.
Yeah, but it's like they typically don't. Okay, I'll give Nintendo their credit. They don't typically announce things at the beginning of the year that aren't coming out for 10 months.
They learned their lesson after Bayonetta 3 and Metroid Prime 4.
It's like typically if they're going to... It's like they may tell you it's going to happen, but you're guaranteed to see it in 2 to 3 more directs before it actually comes out.
Mm.
And they typically don't like doing that.
Yeah. See, I'm in the boat that I think we're going to see some sort of remake or spin-off of some sort. I just don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be a Let's Go Johto. I did see that apparently Gold and Silver will have some sort of focus in this, which tells me it's probably just going to be finally coming to NSO, which that's great. That you're going to have like potentially all the Pokemon games finally come to NSO, so that's awesome. But like I don't know if it'll be that. I don't know if we're going to get a Legends game. I think that'd be sick. And if you do a Legends game, do you go to Johto? Do you go to Unova? Because Gen 5 was kind of next. Gen 5, like Unova was so heavily focused in the second DLC and stuff. I'm personally like I've yeeted it out there into the universe, and I'm gonna keep on yeeting until I'm proven wrong. I'm gonna say Black and White 3. I'm just gonna keep throwing that out there, and I'm gonna probably be proven
I don't
wrong.
even remember. Like, I know I predicted a spin-off game. I don't remember which.
I don't know what you predicted personally. You may have predicted a Legends.
I think I predicted a Legends style game, but not, and it specifically said not Unova.
I think so, something like that. So maybe you were.
said Kalos.
Yeah, you might have said you might have been talking about some Kalos stuff. Honestly, I don't remember. I said Black and White 3.
I think what I said was I would really like a Kalos, but I don't think it's gonna be there.
Yeah, okay. I think that's more in line with what you said. I think Black and White 3. Like I will say, I do have that feeling Unova will be there in some capacities from little signs. Like I saw, I don't know if it was the Pokemon Twitter or the Nintendo of America Twitter, one of the two, put up just like quick little gifs of Reshiram and Zekrom, whatever. And it was just, a black and white heart, 2 separate posts of them just quickly flying through the air. And that's it. That was like 3 weeks ago. And I'm just like, that's sus. Something's coming. So I'm thinking something,
Pokemon Safari 3.
There was a 1 and 2?
It's called Snap.
Oh, okay. So Pokemon Snap 3.
No, Pokemon Safari 3.
Pokemon Snap 3. Hey, I did not play new Pokemon Snap, but I would be cool with that getting in a continuation because, I mean, I still think new Pokemon Snap is one of the best looking Pokemon games in the entire franchise. No, I mean, like visually, it looks incredible. They went all out with the visuals on that game. Yeah. The game itself might be kind of boring, but it looks incredible.
Yeah, you can make it look really good if you don't actually have to put any effort into making them be able to play it.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's if you're a Snap fan, you love the game, but beyond that, it's kind of whatever.
You know what's really going to be surprising people? The Pokemon Sleep update they're going to announce.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Pokemon Sleep's going to be. It's going to be like some shiny Pokemon.
I just didn't say it because I don't care.
Yeah. No, it'll be there. They'll say like, oh, higher chances for this shiny Pokemon to be there or whatever. But I mean, I think Unova will be there in some capacity. I just don't know what. I don't know if it's going to be where it's going to go basic and just do a black and white remake, because that would be the next in the cycle. If we're going to do a black and white 3 or like a Legends, Kyurem game. Like I don't know what it's going to be. I have no idea.
The problem is if they do a black and white remake and they do anything like what happened with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl or Scarlet and Violet, people are gonna fucking riot.
I know.
People love Black and White 2 more than any other generation, I think.
Yeah, and the one difficult thing as well is just like if you remake Black and White and we go through the same cycle, Gen 10 comes out like next year, and then the year after that is time for a spin-off or a remake. What do? Do you go to Black and White 2 or do you go to X and Y? So it's like if they're gonna plan to remake the games, in my opinion, they need to remake Black and White 1 and 2 as one like combo game to go because it's a continuation. So I don't know. It's Pokemon. It's game free. You never know what it's Nintendo. I mean, the Pokemon schedule is so aggressive of like timelines of when they have to do everything.
Well, I was thinking about it because we had Let's Go,
and then Sword and Shield.
Well, yeah, but I'm thinking of like sides, like secondary games.
Oh, yeah.
So we had Let's Go. We had
Legends was after that.
Yeah, it was Legends.
Because it was Let's Go, Sword Shield, Legends, and then it was
Brilliant Diamond,
Shining Pearl. So we had 2 spinoffs, and then you had Scarlet Violet, and now we're up for whatever we're up for. And because we know it's not going to be Gen 10.
And then
I say that, but I was shocked when Gen 9 got revealed, honestly. But whatever.
But yeah, so we had that. I don't know. Gen 2 would make sense for them to do something with now, because then you can, if you want to do something with 2, then you can then go forward to 5, and then you're skipping 3 again. In the sense of you went from 1 to 4, and then you could go 2 to 5, and then have
that's fair.
So
3 to 6 later. Yeah, that's fair. That's a good point.
Remake of Pokemon Conquest.
Please, God, that's all I want. I love Pokemon Conquest. That's actually the game that I have slated for Pokemon Days game on TikTok. Follow me at TikTok at Sparky3Official. I love Pokemon Conquest. Pokemon Conquest is fantastic. Pokemon Conquest remake, remaster, give me a sequel. I don't give a shit. Just acknowledge the game, please. But no, what they'll probably do is they'll probably give us Detective Pikachu 3, even though this latest one bombed. They'll give us another mystery dungeon, you know.
Detective Pikachu versus Phoenix Wright.
That is actually a dumb enough collab I can see happening.
If anyone hasn't noticed, I check out during the Pokemon sessions.
That is a dumb enough collab that I could see happen.
Okay.
Now this is
Overall, I will say I don't expect anything noteworthy to come out of this.
This is probably the one Pokemon Presents where I'm going in with very low expectations. I know I'm throwing out there like Unova something, but like I'm being very realistic of like, yeah, I think this is gonna be a very like C-level direct.
No,
you're
gonna get an 8-minute video on recapping the past 20 or whatever years or whatever it is of Pokemon.
Yep. I don't know. I am looking forward to watching it. I love Pokemon, but this is going to be the one. The 2025 Pokemon Presents. That's going to be the banger.
You think they'll show off Pokemon Land?
Yeah, the one thing in Japan, right?
Hey, Zach knows buzzwords about Pokemon.
Correct.
Yeah. I think that's a thing in Japan.
He's not. He's. You don't question him for details on it. You just nod and go,
Yes, Zach.
Good job.
Good
buddy."
job. Thanks for showing up.
It's like when you guys get into like your deep persona conversations or something, and then I'm just over here. I'm like,
Or, anytime like Sonic's mentioned, you just see John just put his head down, close his eyes, lean
yep.
against the mic.
I'll disappear for a little bit.
Yeah. I think it's also the same thing with Cyberpunk too. So there's those different topics on the show where you will very visibly see one of us, if not two of us, just
Click.
That is so bad of us, honestly. That is horrible. We're so bad at doing that.
But it's so real.
It's keeping it real, but man, it's so bad. Jesus Christ.
Hey, man, if you want to go on your 20-minute rant about Sonic, I'm not going to stop you.
The mic is hot, baby. Go at it. Do your thing.
Oh, shit.
You guys got anything else? If not, I can start going through the weekly wrap-up.
Game that I talked about previously, Balatro, released on Steam this past week as well. It is the poker roguelite.
Okay, yeah.
How do we feel about the Borderlands trailer that came out?
I haven't actually watched it yet, so have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
saw-
What's your
I
thoughts?
saw a picture of it.
I saw a picture. That's all I saw.
Burning Pandora.
Ooh, okay.
Is it worth all of the attention that we have to spend anytime, like, Gearbox show us something that we every time, no matter what it is, if they give us an update about what they got going on, we have to have the 8-minute segment on the movie?
Nope. It's more or less they really took the pretense of it's based off Borderlands.
So,
Oh no.
So it's kind of like, do what you want, but we're really going to make sure you hit the character design.
Yeah.
And even they didn't even really do that. The best character design I saw from the trailer were the extras.
I've seen, like I said, I've seen a picture. I haven't
Yeah, I
watched
saw
it
a
yet.
picture. That's it. Have you guys seen any of the reviews on still talking about adaptations of the Avatar live action on Netflix?
No.
I've
Dumpster
seen it.
fire apparently.
I have seen it either go like it or hate it.
Yeah, there's no in between.
Ooh.
I will say from watching trailers and like some clips, and just seeing pictures, I think it looks fantastic. I think they nailed character designs. You know what I mean? I think from the look, the bending look, all that looks great. But apparently where it's a dumpster fire is they destroyed the story.
Oof.
Like all of the character development that you get out of Aang and stuff wiped. Like he's no longer like this kid that like wants to go like ride with the whatever whalefish,
Yeah.
go on these adventures, not want to be the Avatar. That's all wiped. Like he gets like a vision that he has to go to the North or South Pole and save the world and do his thing, and it's like all that's gone.
Oof.
Now, I did not see this. I did not read this. I have not looked into it, but Josh mentioned this to me that apparently one change they made is Aang can fly, like flat out fly. And if that is true, that is a horseshit change. Like, because that was such an apparent important aspect of how, of like Zahir in Legend of Korra and how he set up to be able to fly and like what he had to do to be able to fly naturally and why Aang can't do it. So if that's true, that's horseshit. But I don't know. Apparently, it is a terrible adaptation. And I was just like, I actually forgot about this. Josh had to be the one to remind me. The creators of Avatar left the project like a year and a half ago. So it's just like, no wonder they left the project with what Netflix wanted to do with it. So I'm scared to watch it. All the reviews basically said, "Don't watch it. You're just go watch the show again. Go watch the the cartoon. Go watch the anime. Don't watch this."
I was gonna say because I will say because all I could think when you were saying like, oh yeah, apparently they destroyed like the character arc and like the way that this is done and the way the character acts. Like, okay, well, how long is this Netflix show?
See, that's the thing.
It's like what? Like it's a Netflix show. It's probably 8 to 10 episodes.
Probably, yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, Avatar is like 76 episodes. It's like we're obviously we're not getting everything there.
Yeah.
And even like the book 1, which I'm assuming is what this
Yeah,
covers,
this is just book 1.
is it's still probably half or less of the amount of time that or the amount of episodes that book 1 was.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, it's one of those things like they can still pace it well with enough details because look what they did with freaking One Piece. One Piece was fantastic, and they paced that one well. Now, one review that I saw, as soon as I read like the title or like the main comment, I'm just like, I feel like that's probably all I need to know about this show. Is that someone actually like some review site actually said you're better off watching the Last Airbender live action movie because at least that's only like 2 hours, and I'm just like, oh my God, that is so savage. That is so ruthless. Holy shit. Oh God. I don't know. I'll probably end up checking out the show at some point, but my expectations are literally through the floor. I'm very scared to watch it, but it's whatever.
I may check it out tomorrow. 'Cause
Yeah.
tomorrow I'm gonna finish watching a show I was watching, and I was gonna start something else, but maybe I'll watch that instead.
Yeah. Did you end up watching that one show, that one horror one that you thought might be okay?
I gotta find it again.
Okay. Yeah, because she still wants to know what that was.
I completely lost it.
Yeah.
Oof.
You know what's so funny? Whenever I text you about like asking those questions, I told her up front, I was like, we'll see if John responds because that's just John. And he responds. And she's just like, yeah, because it's about K-drama. So, of course, he'll respond.
Well, it was funny because I think I was in the middle of something. I was like reading it on my watch, and I'm like, the fuck is he asking me these questions for? So I was like, I gotta reply to this. I'm curious.
Wow. Yeah, she made a joke about it. I was like, yeah, he'll respond to that because you're asking about K-dramas. That's important. I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay.
So it's like, yeah, I gotta finish one up today or like tomorrow morning, and then I may check out Avatar, or I'm gonna start watching the one that she said I might like.
Should watch Has Been Hotel. I actually really enjoyed it when me and her watched it. She's already seen it like 5 times, but I sit down and I watched it with her. It's actually really funny. I had a good time with it.
Isn't it just on YouTube?
So like the OG pilot is, and there's also like another show by the creator called Hell of a Boss that's on there, but no, it's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Prime picked it up. The pilot is on YouTube, and she told me if you want to watch Has Been, go watch the pilot because you at least get to see how characters meet each other. So like it is like important to some capacity. But she said like some aspects of it were just like written off as non-canon apparently once the actual show came out, now, because that pilot came out like 5 years ago. But some aspects of it is still canon apparently. So I don't know. We watched it. I had a really good time. It was really funny. I really enjoyed it. All All right, so let's start going through the weekly wrap up. Before I do that, of course, let's give a special shout out to one of our other partners, Rogue Energy. You can pick up some Rogue with our referral link down below and promo code Sparky3 to get 10% off, and we would appreciate that extra support.
Check out the new Shaker, Spartan, Art, and Hunter.
Yeah, there you go. Still waiting for a new energy flavor announcement. I don't even think they teased anything.
No, they haven't.
I feel like they've been radio silent.
The only thing
recently.
they teased was the new Shakers, and then today they posted that they're going to get a large restock of flavors here soon.
Oh, they need that. They've been sold out for out of a few of them for a little bit now.
Yeah, so
they need that.
Looking towards a massive restock here in the next week or so.
So yeah, this is a perfect time to get some Rogue Energy. Then use the referral link down below, promo code Sparky3 to get 10% off that order, and we'd appreciate that support. But even if you don't want to use our promo code, that's fine. Just use the referral link. The referral link helps us just as much as the promo code. So, all right, let's start running through the weekly wrap up. So the first thing, Helldivers 2 taking over the world. Server capacity is being continued to be increased. They recently increased it by 700K, which is so wild because like one of our friends, he's been playing it, and he's just like, this is like such an insane like outing, for this game, because like the original Helldivers, like he told me, I don't know if this is factual, but he told me it like peaked out at like 7,000 players, and
It
now
wouldn't surprise
Yeah.
me.
and now Helldivers 2 is like people are waiting in queue, and you have like 700K online.
Yeah, because I mean, the original one was a top-down twin stick shooter.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
it's
which
like-
it still looked good.
I mean, it still was interesting. It still looked fun, but you take the concept of it and then go, now here, have a third person, like big open area where you actually fight with your friends for the creatures
Yep.
and all that. It's like, yeah, that's gonna pop way more.
Oh yeah, and it's completely taken over the world
I was
in
gonna say,
all capacities.
Especially because
We've had one game do that each month so far this year. Let's
We
see
really
what comes out in March.
Yeah, we really have. Like back-to-back months, we've had a game take over the world. So I'm gonna have to make a calendar for the show. Keep track of a graphic. If I had to bet the one for March, even though it comes out in February, it's probably just gonna be Final Fantasy because it comes out like literally like the last day of February. So that hype will probably carry over into March. But we'll see. We'll see.
I will say,
Dragon's Dogma 2
there's-
also.
yeah, that one's gonna pop.
Yeah, that one's gonna pop. Dragon's Dogma 2.
One thing that I've noticed is, if you think of all, like in the last like half year or so, or even last year in general, the big games that are popping off and blowing up and nobody expected this, it's games like, most of them are kind of like, they're all co-op games
Yep.
for the most
Yeah.
part.
Yep.
It's
Lethal
like they're
Company. This
as
one.
Lethal Company. It's like, I mean,
Power
even,
World.
even back to like Baldur's Gate when it blew
Yeah,
up way
yeah.
more than
Yeah.
anybody expected. It's like half of that was from people jumping in and playing co-op campaigns and seeing the craziness that happens.
Yep.
And like Lethal Company, and it's like Power World comes out, and it's crazy, and people, it's like just what happens in the game, and it's like now we've got like Helldivers have been steadily like popping. It's like, because I keep seeing articles about that are like people staying logged in overnight to keep their spot online.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen that too. That's
Yeah.
insane.
I've seen people angry because people are being AFKing in planets.
Yep.
And it's one of these things where it's like, when over half to like the majority of these games that are popping off they're not big AAA blockbuster games. They're like AA co-op games that are made to be just really good games.
Yeah.
Or they're like indie games made by one guy.
Yep.
It's like, I mean, it's just one of these. I wish developers would take note.
Yeah.
Because it's like double A's, indie guys, they know what people are playing.
Right.
It's like they see it pop off and they're like, okay, that's what people want right now.
Yep.
And then we get stuff like this,
Mhm.
which is, I don't know. It's just one of those where it's great to see co-op is once again becoming a
A thing.
big part
Yes.
of just like the gaming culture.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you have your quadruple A game like Skull and Bones come out with like I think 800,000 players across all platforms or something like that.
I'm still just waiting for my lawsuit, bro.
Yeah, I know. No, with the Helldivers thing though, one thing I was going to ask is, do you think this is going to be like the driving factor for Sony to look to have more day and date releases on Steam?
No.
No.
Really? 'Cause
I don't-
I think this is it. I think this is going to be a big driving force.
The thing is, every Sony game that has then come to Steam has done extremely well on Steam because people have just been waiting to have access to the PC version. Like with this, the thing is, it didn't matter if this game came out just on PlayStation. This game was going to pop off. It's just more people are playing it because it's on Steam, and you see more of that. You see more of these games pop off on Steam than you will ever see on just Xbox or PlayStation.
Yeah.
Or that. I don't think Sony cares if they're getting more coverage because of how popular one game is. Because Sony at the end of the day, they're going to look at it's like they see that and then they're like, yeah, but come the end of February, Final Fantasy. And they're going to look at that and go, that's always going to pop more. Or it's like just like their big main games, their exclusive games even. They're going to look at those and go, that's always going to pop more than this co-op game will. And we can charge them $70 for that.
Right. I don't know, man. I actually genuinely believe this is going to be a wake-up call for Sony, because this is, I think, one of the only times they've done a day-and-date release with console and PC. Because I still am in the boat that Sony is going to end up making their own launcher at some point.
Well,
I think this could also be a potential driving force to, like, make them further consider, maybe we should put our own launcher on there. You know, we're putting all of our games on there or whatever.
Here's my counterpoint to it. I don't think, Helldivers was a PlayStation. It was a PlayStation game. Nobody else really got it. Helldivers 2, I think they just looked at it there and they're like, I don't think they necessarily see it as a Sony exclusive, and it was more of, yeah, you guys can make that and we can release it on PC as well, just so since it's going to be like a co-op game, more people can play it. I think that's more of the attitude. I don't think they.
I'll tell you, that was probably the attitude whenever they picked up to publish it, but I guarantee you that's not the attitude now. You know, Sony's going to be like, oh, yeah, that's our first party exclusive, baby.
Yeah,
Let's go.
I don't think they thought of the game as a first party exclusive. I think it was more of like their development team went, hey, we want to take a crack at Helldivers and change it. It's like we want to take our own vision with it.
Right.
Or it's like we have an idea of what'll make it better. And they go,
Sure.
yeah, sure, what else?
Here's a check. Have fun.
It's like, here, have some fun
Knock
with that.
yourself out, kid.
And then they come back and go, hey, can we release it on Steam too? And they go, yeah, I mean, we saw the numbers from your first game. Or it's like, we saw the numbers for Helldivers. It's like, yeah, why not? And then now they're like, huh.
That was a good investment.
It's like maybe we were smart for listening to them. I'm glad we told them to do that.
And I think that's the mindset they more have. Where your mindset, Alex, would be a great mindset, but I highly doubt is what they would look at, because it'd be more look at of, oh, so it did do well on both PC and PlayStation. This one game versus all of our exclusives we release on our console, and then we do on Steam.
Right.
So it's sort of like that one outlier. So maybe there's another voice of reason for saying maybe we'll look at doing another
day and date
on something that's like another second or third party, but not necessarily one of our big things.
What I could see happening is like another like co-op or multiplayer Sony game. You know, I could see that being day and date just to continue to test the waters, and if it does really well, especially on the Steam side, because I feel like a majority of the success right now is on the Steam side versus PlayStation for Helldivers 2. And then if they do it again, see more success, that's when I think we'll potentially see something else with a straight first party game. But I'm gonna say it's not gonna be like your Spider-Man 3.
Oh no,
it's not gonna be your Last of Us. It's not gonna be your God of War. It's gonna be a first party Sony game, but maybe not one of the heavy hitters. I think they're gonna keep dipping their toes in, just to test before they end up just making their own PC launcher, because I do think that's gonna happen eventually.
Well, it's like potentially, but like we've said before, I don't think that's happening for a long time.
Right.
Because more than anything, they would rather sell their game on PlayStation,
have exclusivity,
and have less units sold on initial launch, and be able to at a later point, whether it be a year, 6 months, 3 months, 5 years, whatever, release the game again on PC and get
More sales.
and get more sales, probably eclipsing what came out on the or when it came out on PlayStation by itself, because it's going to be all the people who wanted to play it and didn't have access to it, plus the people who played it on X or PlayStation and want to play it again on PC. So it's like I don't see them ever coming to a point where like they're just like, yeah, here's our first party game on PC as well. I think they're always going to do it on console.
Yeah, and I'm sort of in agreement with John on this one. I see them doing more games like Helldivers 2 or things like that, same day on PC, but any of their like main IPs and things like that, as it stands currently, no.
Yeah. The other thing is like people can look at the success of like Helldivers 2. You're not going to replicate that whenever you want to.
Oh, yeah, no. It's
like-
lightning in a bottle. All these games like this is always lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, and it's like like I've said, a lot of these games have been co-op games. They're not going to continue to be co-op games forever that pop off like this.
True.
It's just right now, it's like for the last year, a lot of it has been just the fact that it's not the fact that they are co-op games. It's the fact that they're just really good fucking games
Yeah, they're just
that
good
happen to
games.
have co-op that you can play with your friends.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take away anything if you don't play it with co-op. It just everything is enhanced by having.
That's all. That's very true. Because when I was talking to our buddy about it, he said that he plays with friends or by himself, and he has fun no matter what. He says he has more fun with friends, but he still has a blast playing by himself. So yeah, I mean that's very accurate. Speaking of having a blast playing with friends, one of the other games that's popped off this year, Pal World, has now passed 25 million players, 15 mil on Steam, and 10 mil on Xbox. What a huge success Pal World is, man! Shout out to that. Spider-Man 2 New Game Plus is finally announced with a date for March 7th. It's got new suit styles for symbiote powers, mission replay, updates to photo mode, which does include changing the time of day. If you've already beat the game, maybe you want to take some sweet night photos. Various accessibility updates, and there's also going to be a new difficulty added, which that's cool. I thought they already had their normal highest difficulty once you beat the game, so even an even harder one. That'll be fun.
I don't want to criticize too hard about like team behind Spider-Man. It's been a while, and they're just now releasing this. And I know that they've said multiple times, "Hey, we're working on stuff. Quit hitting us up about it. You'll get it when you get it. And the less you talk about it, the more time we can just settle in on it."
Right.
It's just one of those where it's like, I don't understand what the problem is necessarily, unless you're trying to work on other stuff at the same time. It's one of those things where we look at it nowadays, and you have other games where you're getting much bigger updates in quicker intervals than we are from big time publishers, big time developers. It's like it's like, yeah, you made a solid game. You made a game of the year contender.
Yep.
But why is it take 5 months to roll out New Game Plus and an additional difficulty? People have been asking for New Game Plus. I don't think anybody's been asking for an additional difficulty.
That's true.
It's like, I hope that's not what was taking so long to release this update, because it's just one of those where people are going to keep asking about it because it's taken a long time to come.
I agree 100%. Because, like, you know, for it to take as long as it had, because the other two Spider-Man games before this all had New Game Plus from the get-go. So it's just like, I understand it's a very large game, but, you know, you did a lot more of this game, but it's like 5 months later, this is all it is. I don't know. I understand they're working on a lot of stuff right now. They had their whole situation happen, but I don't know. I agree with you.
Yeah. It's like, I don't want to judge. Like I said, don't want to judge too hard. It's just, at the end of the day, don't think it should take this long.
Yeah, I just think devil's advocate of just not being part of the industry. I assume there's a bunch of wet works and stuff that's going on in the background.
Especially with a company that works this closely with Sony and everything. It's like, it's like a bunch of stuff's been going on. Granted, it's just when you compare to other big games, or like the games that are taking over the news right now, and how quickly you see updates roll out for them from like smaller teams, obviously. But it's just
all I see is smaller team by itself, other teams with umbrella.
Yeah, It's like, yeah, you have a lot more to go through over here, but it's like you also have 100 times the manpower to work with.
That's
Right.
if they leave it there, though, because I mean, it's not uncommon for once a project's
Yeah.
been fully released that more than over half the team gets pulled to go work on something else, and you have a skeleton crew left.
True.
Yeah, I mean, it true. It's just like I said. I tried not to judge too harshly on some of these, especially the ones that came out that were like, it's a really good game.
Yeah,
Just it's like we're not asking for. It's like I mean I'm not, but it's like a lot of the people. It's like we're not asking for a lot. We want New Game Plus.
Yeah, that's all we want. Just New Game Plus, please. That would be great. We do have the release date for the Elden Ring expansion. That's coming out June 21st. So shout out to that. I think it's the same day. I think that's when Shin Megami 5 Vengeance comes out. I think it was the 21st also. Shout out to that too.
Which one do you think is going to be more popular?
Oh, I already know the answer to that. I already know the answer to that. Can't wait for Elden Ring to take over the summer. PSVR 2 is currently having its compatibility tested with PC, says Sony. So shout out to that. PSVR 2, from what I understand, is a phenomenal piece of tech. There's just not a lot they've done with
Going
it
on
in
there.
terms of like games and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like if you can have it compatible with your PC, you're opening up to an incredible world.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is like the VR for like that people have access to, like Oculus Vive,
Yeah,
things
yeah.
like that. It's like, yeah, those popped off. They don't get necessarily the most news, but it's because they're there, they work, people enjoy them. PSVR, there's not a lot going on, so it's like, yeah, you took the time, you invested in the technology. We just put some stuff out there for it. Quit and don't just do like, okay, we made a game, now we're gonna adapt it to VR. No, make a game for the fucking VR.
Right. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth reviews are out, and it is glowing across the board. That's going to be a Game of the Year contender right there, from what I can see. Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves are both going to PlayStation 5. Hi-Fi Rush and Pentiment are also getting physical editions from Limited Run Games. So shout out to that one. Another physical edition that Limited Run is doing is one of John's favorite games over the past couple years. High on Life is also getting a physical copy. So I know John's gonna be, running to pick that up and get that on pre-order in a couple days. And still,
I don't understand that game.
I don't understand why he's making this bid. It's very obviously you're the digital person.
Well, it's also I just didn't enjoy the game.
no, he hated the game. That's more so the bit. He hated the
It's
game.
like I did not enjoy. I of course I was very open up ahead of the fact of I hated that. I hated
You hated it
I
from the
hated
reveal.
every trailer for
I'm
it.
surprised you played it.
But I went in with the attitude of I would try it, and obviously I wasn't the target audience.
He hated that game. I thought it was fine. I mean, I had my enjoyment out of it. It's one of those things where it's like I might pick it up for physical copy. I mean, they only run them $35 for the physical copies. Like I haven't got very far in Pentiment, but I kind of want to pick up that physical copy just to have it, just to add to a collection. I don't know if I'll ever play Hi-Fi Rush, but I kind of want to get that too. I think that'd be cool to have, but I don't know. And then the last thing, still talking about physical copies here. Phil Spencer recently said in an interview that Microsoft is not giving up on physical media just yet. I don't believe you, Phil.
Ooh,
I don't believe you. You are giving up on physical media.
yeah.
Shut up, John. Because if you weren't giving up, you wouldn't have laid off your entire department. And now there's like a, which we already saw this from like that big Xbox leak, whatever, what the mid-gen refresh was being looked at the time. But I've seen reports that like an all-digital Xbox Series X is set to release this summer.
Woo!
So fuck off. So I don't believe you, Phil.
Digital.
You lying son of a bitch. You are giving up on physical media. It's unfortunate. But yeah, apparently the all digital Xbox Series X is going to be all white. It's going to have probably that tagline that we saw in the leak where it's going to say adorably all digital. That whoever came up with that stupid tagline. There's nothing adorable about that, you bastards.
Digital is the future.
It does have a damn big space for memory.
Yeah,
disk space.
apparently it's going to have like just more memory, of course, but it's going to have like an adjusted heat sink and just stuff like that. Yeah, is what it's going to apparently have. That's just the early reports. It apparently be revealed like sometime this summer. So I know there's also the reports that the PS5 Pro is also going to come out this fall, so it'll probably get revealed over the summer too. Like a summer game fest thing, so around that range or something. I don't know. You boys have anything else? Do.
There was something, but I've lost it. So
It's gone. Ship sailed.
pretty much.
Okay. What about you, John? Has your ship sailed?
Yeah. Because what popped in my head would have been a conversation for like 3 weeks ago.
What was it?
It was for when Steam Next Fest was going on,
Oh, okay.
but it's not happening anymore.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, we're going to get out of here then. Music's hit. Let's go around the room.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help. I don't know what happened this episode, but I hope you enjoyed.
It doesn't matter what happened this episode. If you stayed with us and liked what you saw, then thank you very much. And if for some reason you want to come check us out again, we do these Saturdays at about 6 p.m. Central Time. Yeah.
John's right. It doesn't matter what happened this episode because, like he said, we do these every week. So there's always another shit show for next week.
Mostly every week.
Mostly every week. So there's another shit show for next week, and it's going to be great. Can't wait to talk about stuff like the Pokemon Presents and stuff. It's going to be great. It'd also be great if you check us out on our website, sparky3.com. You can sign up for free. Sign up $5 a month. We appreciate the extra support, as well as the extra support picking up an Agent Ink jersey with our shop down below, as well as some Rogue Energy. Big restock coming soon, so good time to pick some up with promo code Sparky3 to get 10% off your order. Thank you so much. Until next time. Bye.